I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Wiglett. What people find cute at first seems quite simple. Small, round creatures with big eyes and soft fur will usually do the trick. However, that's far from the only genre of critter that people can find themselves loving. Something can be cute because it's funny, seemingly helpless, or just a particular kind of stupid. One realm of cuteness I've recently come to appreciate is the big wiggly fella. My friend Mus was a big fan of the Wiggler, an endemic life form in Monster Hunter World, which players could eventually imitate with a comically oversized headpiece. My girlfriend loves the Hattifatners, a race of creatures in the Moomin stories, which wobble around with heads empty of thoughts, simply drifting towards storms on the horizon. Revealed through a mock biology conference, Wiglett is Pokemon's latest entry into this weird little brand of cute. A pure water type, Wiglett resembles a white eel poking its head out from underground, with a big pink nose and an undulating movement. The name combines wiggle, or perhaps the white colour, with Diglett, the mole Pokemon. The Japanese name, Umidigda, is even more on the nose, combining Digda, the Japanese name for Diglett, with Umi, the Japanese for sea. So it's literally called Sea Diglett. Pokemon Violet tells us, though it looks like Diglett, Wiglett is an entirely different species. The resemblance seems to be a coincidental result of environmental adaptation. I actually think this name makes a lot of sense. In the real world, we love naming sea creatures after land animals which they just barely resemble, like the sea cow. Poking out of the ground as it does, Wiglett resembles a garden eel, whose habit of living in large colonies and poking up after burying themselves in the ground makes them resemble a large field of plants. Pokemon Scarlet tells us, this Pokemon can pick up the scent of a Veluza just over 65 feet away, and will hide itself in the sand. Wiglett has a unique ability, Gooey, which will lower the speed of any Pokemon which comes into physical contact. This is reminiscent of the hagfish, another species of eel which produces slime. Just as Diglett evolves at level 26 into Dugtrio, so Wiglett evolves into Wugtrio. Wugtrio resembles 3 pink Wiglett, all emerging from different holes in an ornamental boulder. The name, and the Japanese name, Umitrio, are both again drawn from Dugtrio, though it has no actual relation. Pokemon Violet tells us, a variety of fish Pokemon, Wugtrio was once considered to be a regional form of Dugtrio. I really like Wiglett and Wugtrio. I think they're funny little guys. I tried to make use of them in my playthrough of Pokemon Violet, in which I didn't have the water starter, but the Pokemon's phenomenally low defense made them a bit of a chore to use. I'm sure a more skilled trainer than me could build a viable strategy, at least for a single-player campaign. According to the game's Pokedex, they're quite deadly. Scarlet tells us, it has a vicious temperament, contrary to what its appearance may suggest. It wraps its long bodies around prey, then drags the prey into its den. This behaviour is less like a cute and harmless garden eel or hagfish, and more like the scary, alien-jawed moray eel, a big predator that should be familiar to Mario fans as the inspiration for the terrifying eels in the depths of those games. We have some correspondence about last week's Pokemon. Friend of the show Mikey from Pokemon Crossroads had this to say about Tink. I love Tink and the whole line. Early in Pokemon Scarlet, I was just exploring some ruins just as we left the school, and I found this little pink baby. Just walking around with her metal stick. Curious. I caught the little baby and saw it was a Steel/Fairy type Pokemon. And me loving Steel types was willing to see what this little baby will do. So I added Tink to the team and named her Wendy's, as in the restaurant. From there I used Tink, and the thing that really made me fall in love with this Pokemon was the animations it had. I particularly loved the loud victory Tink gave when it beat a Pokemon. It made me so happy to see this little baby just knock things out with its little metal rattle. And the evolution didn't disappoint. while the body had subtle changes. The hammer got bigger and bigger as Tinkertuff and Tinkerton. This little baby may be simple, but fills me with so much joy to see them go out into the world and just smacking things with its big hammer and giving out adorable yells of victory. I couldn't quite make Wiglett work through the whole game like Mikey did with Tinkertink, but I will always smile when I see it doing a little wiggle. If Scarlet and Violet's DLC give us more character customization, I'd love to run around with a comically wobbly Wiglett hat. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon is composed by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. Writing, producing, and editing is all by me, Luke Summerhays. Funding is provided by lovely listeners. If you'd like to help keep the lights on, or give your thanks, head over to patreon.com/podcastio-podcastius. There you can find links to the other shows my pals and I create. Or for just $1 a month, listen to episodes as soon as we're done editing. I love hearing from you guys. A 5-star rating and review on your podcasting app of choice, or even better, telling a friend about the show, would always be much appreciated. Our next monsters are Bombardier and Finizen. Let me know your thoughts and feelings about those or any other Pokemon on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN. Catch more Pokemon content at twitch.tv/LukeLovesPKMN most Friday nights from 9 PM UK time. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Wiglett, and remember, I love you too.